They're the mother and daughter duo who've made history when they blasted off into space on board the Virgin Galactic flight.
Keisha Schahaff and her daughter Anastatia travelled to the edge of space. Well, the trips made them the first mum and daughter to go to space together. Look at them there, experiencing zero gravity for a few incredibly special minutes.
Well, Keisha and Anastasia, join us now live from Antigua. Good morning to you both. Hope you're well. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
Right, here's my first question. I've always wanted to ask this of somebody who's gone into space. When you go weightless, when you leave the surly bonds of the Earth, does it happen like that? One minute you can feel your body weight and the next you're floating, or is it a gradual process? You just feel lighter and lighter and lighter?
I think the first part of what you said is how it is. It just happens.
Wow.
I just noticed it like right away. You could just feel the lightness of your body, and I could see my daughter's hair rise from the seats.
My goodness, and how far up are you for that? You know, is there, as Richard said a moment, because I think there was a very dramatic announcement, wasn't there, which you won't be able to hear, where they just suddenly say, you're weightless and you can release yourself to have fun.
Yes, there was an announcement that said that. But first of all, I want to say how excited we are to be on your show to represent Antigua and Barbuda. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure to have you.
Anastasia, was it anything like you expected?
It exceeded my expectations. To be honest, I went up there with absolutely no expectations. I didn't want to make it a fantasy or like anything like that. So I went up there just prepared to see anything.
And presumably you've both flown before, haven't you, on aircraft, yeah?
Yeah, often.
So what's it like to actually see the Earth as a whole? You can see that the whole of the planet beneath you, or that side of the planet, and obviously the curvature of the Earth. I mean, actually to see that, as opposed to a photograph of it, what kind of impact does that have on you?
Nothing could prepare us to actually seeing it with our own naked eyes. I mean, we've seen tons of photos of it, but when you see it with your own eyes, you actually see that the planet is living. You see a pulsation that's happening within that blue, beautiful strip of color around our planet. It's just magical. It's really amazing.
From the very first accounts of the very first astronauts in the 60s, Russian and American, who went into space, and we still hear it today, when an astronaut goes into space for the first time and looks back on the Earth, they say that it changes their whole perspective about the planet. Have you found that, now you've come down again, that you look upon the Earth as a much smaller place?
Definitely. Like the peace that you felt being up in space, that love that you felt, it's just like nothing could prepare me or prepare us for that. I mean, we know about the feeling of love and the feeling of peace, but it was just really a united feeling, a one feeling that is just truly amazing and magical, right?
Yeah.
Explain that a bit more. Do you mean a sense of peace within yourself, or a sense of how peaceful the world could be? Explain that a little bit more, because it's very moving hearing that.
It's all combined, but it's an energy that you actually can feel in the darkness of the universe, the darkness of space. Like you just feel everything lifted off of your body.
Wow.
Like you could feel a connection to everyone that's in this journey with us on the craft. And it's not a peace I've ever felt before. And all I could think about, I want to bring this back to Earth. Like everyone needs to feel this peace. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but we have to bring this energy back to Earth.
That's extraordinary to hear that. Were you frightened at all? Did you feel sick? Sorry,
no,
I'm getting practical here.
Did you feel space sickness at any point, or was it all just wonderful?
It was a really good ride, right?
I would say it was smoother than a commercial air flight.
Well, I've got to tell you, quite often I feel envious of some of the guests that we interview on this programme, but I'm more jealous of you than I can put into words. I would so love to do what you've done, and of course I never will. I'll tell you someone actually who's even more jealous than me, and that's Laura. You should have seen her jaws just come off the table there. You would love to do that, wouldn't you, Laura?
The way that you describe how Earth looks from being in space and how you felt is just incredible. And I know that when William Shatner went to space as the oldest man on Earth, it changed his whole perception. He's now come back as a huge advocate for climate change and protecting our planet. So I just think it's amazing what you guys have done and what you've seen. And yeah, I'm so jealous.
Anyway, give our love to the good people of Antigua, and maybe we'll meet in the flesh one day. Thanks very much for your time. Right, Laura, do the wedding.
Thank you so much for having us.